Hey everybody, it's Ailarra. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, thank you so much for dropping in. I have definitely had a fair number of new subscribers recently, so thank you so much for subscribing and stopping and maybe staying for a while. If you have followed me for a while, welcome back. Thank you so much for the loyalty, I guess, is what I want to say. I don't know. I'm in a weird state of mind. I'm not necessarily in the recording state of mind, but guys, it's been a long time since I've recorded. A lot has happened. This is going to be a long video. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know, if you've been with me for a while, these are long videos anyways, and it's been like a month since I've recorded, and so grab your popcorn. If you need to come back, you know, take a break, come back, totally understand. And we'll try to break this up as evenly as possible so that it's easy to start and stop if you need to. But yeah, like I said, I'm not quite in the frame of mind that I would prefer to record, but it is what it is. Bear with me. So I have a pile of whips. I have not stopped stitching in the hiatus that I have had. I had actually gotten into a decent sleep schedule. I was going to bed at like 10 or 11, latest at midnight. I was up around 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning. It was amazing. And then we went on our camping trip. And while I had hiker midnight, which basically once the sun goes down, you go to bed. You might hang out around at the fire for a little bit. The first night we got in at like midnight by the time we were done and set up and everything. So it was late. I was exhausted, and the recovery from camping has definitely taken its toll on me this last week. So I'm definitely up later than I kind of want to be, but here we are. So I before the camping trip, I was like this close to being able to figure out a good, like starting to work in recording during the day, and then the trip happened. So I will get into life updates at the end, but the end is going to be a long time from now. So I don't know if anybody's going to really care to stick around for that or not. We'll see. Okay. First of all, let's get into the giveaway winners from last video. I had received. Wow. Ooh, it's going to be if you've been with me for a while, you're used to it. Okay. I had received. Okay, there we go. I had received some Stitchy kindness from Nana from the Crafty Sheildmaiden, and she had given me some awesome goodies to give away as well. And I had gotten a keyword in there, and so that was part of a giveaway. I was also giving away this bag that I made, part of my Ailarra Designs collection. So we're also drawing for that. Now, my usual for my giveaways is to record the drawing separately, and that is because I have run into the unfortunate situation of somebody not filling out the Google form for Happy Meal, and then I feel bad that I have to like be like, oh, just kidding, you didn't really win. So I pre-record those. You'll just have to take my word that if I draw you and you're in the Google form, you're the winner. So let me go ahead and insert that video and see who won the giveaways here. Okay, guys, it's finally time to do the giveaway comment picker thing. So I've gone ahead and pasted the Flosstube 19 video in here. So we are going to start with the drops for the floss drops, etc. giveaway. Do 200. Oh, okay, 51 comments. I was like, what? All right, so here we go. Good luck. Chris Sirkira. That is quite a list of starts you're planning. The frost drops are cute and your bag is beautiful. Thank you so much, Chris. Let me double check that you are in my Google Forms, and then we will get you squared away. Okay, that's exciting, Chris. I have you in my Google Forms, so I will send you an email and comment on your comment on my last video. So next we are going to figure out how to do a new one here. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to pause and refresh. Okay, here we go. So same video. We're going to filter by bag. All right, 77 comments, and here we go. I wish it did the super cool spinny thing, but this comment picker is a little more user-friendly. So here we go. Shannon Davis. All right, Shannon, I think I have seen your comment, so I will comment on your comment. I'm pretty sure you are in my Google Forms, and oh, I'm so excited that you've got that second bag coming to you. All right, guys, thanks so much. Good luck, or thank you for all of you who have submitted your entries. Much appreciated. Don't worry, there will be future giveaways, so stay tuned. All right, so congratulations to those winners. I will email you, I will comment on your comments, and we will coordinate getting those out to you. So, right, now that that is done, where do I start? Oh my gosh. All right, the usual. Let's just start with the usual. We'll start with progress. Like I said, I have not stopped stitching. If anything, I have stitched more because recovery, which I'll get into later. So I'm going to go in order of what I started since last video, simply to keep, I feel like I'm like right in your face. There we go. I'll just, you don't care what order it is, but organization, folks, organization. And I forgot my chair. Hold, please. Okay, I have a chair that I use to move the pile between, and I forgot my chair. And I don't want to throw my stuff on the floor because the floor is very kitty hairy. Okay, so first off, we have a new start. New starts are going to definitely, probably, maybe be a theme. You never know what you're going to get with me. I'll get into that in plans. Anyways, I have a new start. This is a new start that I got from Total Cross Stitch from Sarah. She is on Etsy, and I will link her below. But I was showing this off to Nana from the Crafty Sheildmaiden, and she was like, oh. And we started this together. Now, I have made a Mermaid Monday, Sal. I've made this kind of a commitment to every Monday I work on this. I work on this project, and Nana works on it with me if she can. But really, if you have a mermaid themed project that you want to share progress with, feel free to use the hashtag Mermaid Monday Sal, And I would love to see what you're working on. Variety is the spice of life. So it doesn't have to be this particular project. When I feel like I want to break from this one, I will definitely probably pull in, definitely probably. That's going to be a theme for me. Definitely probably, maybe. Pull in another mermaid that I have, because I definitely have several projects that I can incorporate into Mermaid Monday. So this is, I have my tablet because I really want to try and not insert pictures if I don't have to. So this is the mock-up. Try and get the glare. Whoa, I don't know what was happening. There is a whole lot of 310 that I was not really anticipating. Like it doesn't, can I even get this so that it doesn't glare? No. You get the picture. The way this is charted, the art for this, I didn't realize how much 310 was here in the bottom and in her bangs. But it's a lot. Like half the project is 310, and I wasn't even really cognizant of that fact. But anyways, so this is the mock-up, and I think she's going to be gorgeous. And I started in the upper left-hand corner as per usual. So far, I have gotten in, I have worked on this every Monday, or really close to Monday. The week that I left for the camping trip, I was not sure if I was going to be able to work on it on Monday, so I worked on it on Sunday. But I've gotten 2,273 stitches in for a total of 2.60% progress. And I am working in my diagonal cross-country parking method. It's literally just a mashup of those three methods of stitching. I know Royal Rose stitching is super popular right now. I tend to buck the norm when it comes to what everyone is doing. There is nothing wrong with what everyone is doing, but I tend to kind of rebel against that a little bit. I want to try and do my own thing. I don't like to feel like I'm copying everyone just to copy everyone. And please don't take that as that I'm saying that that's what everyone else is doing. That is simply me and my, and I don't even know why I do that, but probably because whenever I've tried to do that in the past, it has backfired pretty badly for me. So yeah, so I actually recorded a stitch with me that I have not even listened back to it. I have been I've been struggling a little bit with being okay with the space I'm taking up in this world. If you've followed me, you know that I struggle with anxiety and depression. I know a lot of us do. My offer still stands. I may not be able to interact as much as I would like with you if you reach out to me, but definitely if you need someone to chat with, Instagram is the absolute best place to get a hold of me. Email, I'm terrible at getting back to you. I just am. Instagram is super free. You don't have to really do anything, but you can make an account and reach out if you need to. But anyways, yeah, tangents are definitely going to be happening today. But anyways, back to what I was saying is that part of the reason that I struggle with going into any trends is because, like I said, that's backfired for me in the past. So I try to do my own thing, even if it's not really my own thing. So yeah, diagonal cross-country parking, I recorded a stitch with me, and where I was going with that was that I explained what I mean by diagonal cross-country parking in that video. If there is any interest, let me know, and I'll cringe through it and post it. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that video at this moment. So let me know if you're interested, and I'll look into actually posting that. Wow. Anyway, this is my progress on Face of a Mermaid. As you can see, I have a lot of filling in to do still, but I'm just filling in diagonally and kind of cross-countrying it and stopping when I need to with these. I've been using this for prompts as well, so that's why I'm sort of stopped in the middle of stitching with this thread. One of the groups that I'm in goes by, you're probably tired of looking at that project by now, goes by very even numbers of stitching, so like 100, 200 kind of. I have a needle and I don't know where it goes. I'll figure it out later. So if I'm stitching for that group, it's going to end very abruptly on a even number of stitches, so that's why that's there. Not that you care. I'm very chatty today. I need to drink water. Boxed wine may have happened before this video. Like I said, I definitely not in the mental state for recording. Having a hard time taking my space in this world at the moment. So I really had to get some encouragement, liquid form this time, to actually get on here and film. Okay. Wow, that was a whole lot of blah, blah, blah to go through the first whip. Next whip is... got pulled with my other one. So, Crystal Garden. This is a SAL I am doing with Jessica from LiveLaughLoveStitcher. We share a love of horses, and we also share a love of very similar charts. And this is one that we decided to do together. If I could actually pull up the mock-up, that would be fantastic. So we decided to do... Oh, yes, I went through that. Face of a Mermaid is done on 28 count even weave from somewhere that I've forgotten by now. This is Crystal Garden, artwork by Rose Kahn, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And Jessica and I decided that we would stitch this together. So on the 5th of every month, I have been pulling this out. I don't have a huge amount of progress. I actually only got just under 300 stitches in this last time for a total of 1,296 stitches. I am not even a % in to this chart yet, guys. It is 0.41% complete. And that is how far I got. Yeah. So not a whole lot of progress from the last time, but it's there. I will probably start working these threads in next time I work on it, which is coming up here in a couple of days. I will be doing my diagonal cross-country parking method. Again, if you're interested in what the heck I mean by that, let me know in the comments, and I will consider actually putting that stitch with me up. So there's that one. Next, I worked on... I debated on whether or not to even show this. This is Dark Queen of the Seas by Autumn Lane Stitchery. This was their mystery stitch-along from last year. They actually just announced their stitch-along for this year for Dark Queen of the Earth, which I am totally signed up for. And I have fabric and the bead pack coming. Because Erin has done such an amazing job with charting these. And it's so much fun. So I'm hoping to actually keep up with that stitch along. This is where I have gotten so far. I actually took her out of the hoop. I've been swapping out on Q-snaps for a lot of projects now, so you can actually see the whole thing now. I still have not gotten her hair completed. You can see there's still a little bit of hole. I only put in like 103 stitches, so there's not a whole lot of difference from the last time. But next time I pull her out, I will definitely get her hair done and get on to the next part. So there is that. The fabric is the called for from Under the Seas fabric. It is, I can't remember off the top of my head right now what the colorway is, but it was the called for that one. It's the 14 count opalescent Ada fabric for that one. Okay, next is a new start. And this one, God, here we go. I feel like top of my head has been cut off for most of this video. This is a Mirabilia. This is one of the first ones that I picked up. This is Satania, Queen of the Fairies. My oldest is a huge fan of Midsummer Night's Dream, so I wanted to pick this up for them. And I definitely have switched out the fabric that she is stitched on. I worked with Kaylee from thesewingshop.ca, and she has gotten some amazing, I've talked about this in my previous videos, but I'm still just absolutely in awe of some of the dye projects that she's done for her fabric. Now, one of my commenters pointed out part of my problem with this design was that it looked like she was just floating on nothing. She's sitting, but she's sitting on nothing. And I did not see until somebody pointed out that she's sitting on a rose, guys. Right here. Like her bum ends here, and there's the rose. I didn't see the rose. The way this looks, I'm still very much convinced that she's floating in midair on this rose. So I had talked to Kaylee about dyeing a fabric that actually made it look like she was sitting on something. And of course, this is when I felt like this whole thing was her dress. So I thought it would be amazing if she was sitting on a mushroom, as small fairies do. So I had her dye me this wonderful piece of fabric. We did a little trade. You can't see that, it's wrong way up. So I have started her, and I really tried to get it to where she would be sat on the mushroom. Now that I know that that's a rose that she's sitting on, I feel like she's still going to float a little bit, but at this point, that's okay. I'm okay with that. Kaylee has done such an amazing job with this mushroom. I think it's just going to be what it is at this point. I got 2,523 stitches in, mostly on the knees of the dress. But I oopsed. I oopsed somewhere in here. And I shifted this whole section one way or another. And I had to basically rechart in order to get this to sit right in the chart. I had to take a line of stitches off one side and add a line to the other. So I've slowed down a lot on that once I realized how much I oopsed it. But she'll come out again, I think, pretty soon, because I have threads sitting waiting to be used. So yeah, I think that's the only thing. Oh, that's on a 28 count. The pattern calls for 32 count, but we decided to do it on a 28 count because it shrinks a little bit when it dies. And I didn't want the 32 count getting really, really small as far as being able to hold the beads. So 28 count Lugana, I believe, is what we used. Don't quote me on that. All right, next is another new start. I got this from Pain Free Crafts. Darren, the Dizzy Stitcher, had started a stitch along, and Stanley Morrison is the artist for what I picked up. And let me grab so that you can see what the heck I'm talking about. I picked up a couple of charts. I really needed to have watched my last video through, because some of my haul this go around is electronic, and I don't remember if I've already showed it to you or what I had gotten since, so that's probably going to be in my next video as far as that haul goes. So if I haven't showed you these before, apologies, but I don't remember. It's been that long. Okay, so this is the mock-up of Saki Dragon. Love, love, love the colors in this one. Now, the background is a little boring brown, but once I get to the dragon and the cup, oh man, that's going to be amazing. So I have gotten 1,600 stitches in so far for a total of 1.35%. And it still doesn't really look like much. So just background. Again, I have some hanging threads because of, I think I stopped here because that was where a prompt finished for a challenge. The day had worn on and I was done for the evening, and that's where I ended for now. So I think the dragon, this one is not super big. Like, I went ahead and, I mean, this is 28 count, even weave. And I mean, it's only going to go to like here. So it's not super, super big for me. So I'm sure once I hit the dragon, it's going to feel like it goes a lot faster. But I'm definitely to the point in a lot of my projects where it's just background, and trying to get through that is like slogging through the mud that I was hiking through last week. Let's not lose the needle on that one. Okay. All right, next is exciting. I kind of wanted to do these first, but I kind of wanted to show you stuff in order. I got a hair up my butt to do some things, like finishing things. She is finished. This is Summer Stroll by Dimensions. She was in a hoop for over 17 years. I have a video in my lineup of when I pulled her out of the hoop. Cleaned her up as best I could and decided I was going to try and finish her. And I finally did. I got all the cording and the French knots. The cording is not the best. I am not a fan of cording. I think if I had to do it again, I would probably omit the cording or do something different. I'm not sure. I don't know how I would do it differently, but I don't like it. I don't like how it looks. I'm not good at it. This one up in the sleeve looks okay, but at the bottom of the dress, I think it just looks sloppy. And that's totally me. The French knots are fine. She's got a little, that's from the, I'm starting to fray a little bit. I need to get her in a frame, but framing is expensive and I am not ready to do that on my own yet. But she is complete. So it only took me like 20 some years to finish her, but she's done finally. She is off my list of things I need to do. And I was so excited about getting her done. And I had been working with a small, and I was close enough that I decided I could finish another one. So yeah, I got all the beads on. There's like 4,000 some odd stitches and beads total in this, so it really was a pretty quick full coverage piece. And film does not do this piece justice. It is super sparkly. I don't know how to show this so that it's as cute as it is in person. So I had 2 finishes in 2 days and was super thrilled with that. I'm not a very good FFOer, so I don't know when these will go into frames. For now, they will go in my finish bucket, and then I will figure it out from there. All right, so I did try for a third finish in 4 days, but I ran out of steam because cording. I did better, I think, with this one, but she has a face now. I'm not super thrilled with dimensions. As detailed as they are, as finicky as they are with their multiple threads and half crosses and full crosses, I would really like to see them do fractionals for faces. Where her face kind of bleeds over with the back stitching. It's just, and this part was stitched, 20 years ago, so I definitely would have done this differently now versus then. But I got all the back stitching done from here to about, well, over here on this sleeve. This is cording here on the sleeve, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. It was relatively easy to tack on, and now I'm moving kind of down. Oh, where's these? I don't even know where these threads are coming out of. I think I had that in the Q snap, and that's where it kind of ended, and I couldn't get to any more. But her skirt, her dress is done as far as the black goes, and I'm starting in on this section. So there's still quite a lot of back stitching and cording to do on her. I'm still in no hurry really to get her done. She'll get done when she gets done. I'll have another push, I'm sure, for a finish when that urge comes. I'm a process stitcher, so even though I'm so close to finishing, it really, I have to have that. I have to wait till the spirit moves me in order to actually to finish them. So, okay, next is Gypsy Firefly. This is one of my older, newer whips. This is a chart by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Amy Stewart. This is the regular size max color version. I didn't work on her. I think I did 2 days, 400 a piece. So I got 800 stitches in. And I finally have it out of the Q-snap. Not that it'll make a huge difference. I don't pull this back so you can see. Again, I'm sort of working in a diagonal. I am starting to work in these threads as well. I'm starting to do my, let me pull back and give you a second to look at the before and after, because it is kind of hard to see what I've gotten done between then and now. But I'm starting to work these threads in and go back to a cross-country sort of, but not the way I was doing it up here. Yeah, I'm working in a diagonal so that I'm not overwhelming myself with ninja stitches to come in and finish after. So I am a total of 10,613 stitches in for a whopping 3.74% done. I say I'm a process stitcher, but I am feeling a little bit, not really overwhelmed, but kind of antsy to see progress on some of these big whips. And it's just not, I'm too ADD to be able to pull that off at the moment. Next is Veil Nebula. This is another supersized max color chart. This is by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is a NASA image. Not what I clicked. Here it is. Oh, man down. Really? Piece of... The struggle is real. Okay. Are you laughing with me? Or are you laughing at me? Either one is fine. I totally understand both. Let's hold it this way so that I don't flip it out again. Okay. Veil Nebula. Again, so this is a supersized max color version. That's the mock-up that it's going to be. Now, this is definitely one that I hope James Webb Telescope looks at in the near future. But at the same time, I'm like, take your time, like 20 years time, so that I can get this done and not be totally sad about whatever awesome detail is coming out in the pictures that come in from that. I worked for a total of 1,425 stitches. I have a total of 8,429 done, whopping 1.27% complete on this picture. I am working this, Gypsy Firefly is on 18 count fabric, just an 18 count Aida, so it's a lot bigger than a lot of my other ones will be. This is on 28 count Aida. I worked a lot of black. Surprise! Again, I worked in all of my hanging, well, most of my hanging threads. This craziness, if you want to know why this is happening, let me know, because that would be part of my Stitch With Me explanation as to why this just goes wee. I touched a little bit on it in my last video, but yeah, that may be a theme once I get back up here, is just stitch it till it gets to the end of the thread or the end of the Q-snap, whichever comes first. So that is Veil Nebula. Not a whole lot. Some stars going in. Okay, next should be... Okay, next is... You guys, I don't even know how much I put in, if this is even going to be worth showing. But I did put in a little bit, so here we go. This is one of my stamped cross-stitch kits. It is Carousel Horse. That's what it's, this is actually one of my China kits that I got before I knew what was what. I believe this is a Dimensions kit. Pretty sure it's Dimensions. But I have it stamped. And I've just been working in the background, getting that filled in. And I'll shove this over so you can see what I got done from the last time. It may only be a partial thread. It might not even be worth putting this up. I have no idea. But I worked on that, so I'm showing it to you. Okay, this next piece really should be a focus piece for me. I had done really well on it, and then I happened. That, and I know that he's going to turn brown eventually, but it's not happening fast enough. And working on a blue dog is just making me sad. I can't show you the mock-up because this was a pixelstitch.net chart that I did. This is my memorial piece for a good friend of ours, my husband and I's. This is his puppers that passed. Yeah. I stole this picture off of the Facebooks when they posted after he passed. And piece of junk. This isn't really the mock-up, but this is the PDF mock-up basically. And up in here, okay, you can't see that, but it is very blue. Like if I zoom in, it's definitely blue. And obviously once you zoom out, he looks normal. He looks brown, and I have browns in the palette, but so far it's just blue. It's blue. He's my blue dro. I have worked, added 1,623 tent stitches. Everything up till now has been full cross. This is one of my only tent stitch, well, that I've worked on right now. My only tent stitch project. But, sorry guys, it's late. Finished off this, can you even see that? Pull back, there. Shove that before picture in there. There, now you can see where I did. Back up into the curtain. I'm keeping this as a parking piece because of the way it's not fully compatible with Pattern Keeper, so it's a little bit harder to work on other than parking. So I need to get more done on him, but I need to get my mojo back for him as well. Okay, next I worked on, the pile is getting smaller, I swear, guys. My needle miter fell off. Okay. Purple Unicorn by Charlie Darling. This is a Gecko Rouge kit that I bought for myself for my birthday last year. And I only did 795 stitches total. And 5,000. Oh, Boudreaux is 30,253 stitches in for 9.08%. I really need, I want to get him up to 10%. So he is coming back up in the rotation, so to speak, that I have here in the next few days. maybe within the next week. Purple Unicorn, 795 stitches, 5,487 total, for a total of 8.03%. And this is what it looks like right now. So as you can see, still working as a parking method as well for this one. The confetti is very, very real for this project. So working parking for this one still just makes sense and makes it not so tough to find, especially with the light colors that are coming in on this one. So got his ear almost complete. Now I'm down working in the mane again. Usually I take this to my Stitchy meetups. I don't know if that will continue to be a trend. We will find out. Whatever I feel like working on is what I take. Okay. All right. So the next was when I went camping. I tend to take my stamped projects with me when I go outdoors. I don't have as much of an attachment to them if they get wet or dirty, ruined. Basically, it's something that I can kind of, oh well, kind of thing. But on this past trip, I actually kind of kicked myself for bringing what I did because it was big. It was heavy for what it was. But I brought Underwater World. I don't remember how much I had done on it. I think it was just what I had done from Mania. And I started working a little bit methodically on this one. There. So I just had started filling in some of the blue and I got quite a bit done. I did 1,718 stitches for a total of 2,666 and 6.76%. Since it's full coverage, it was a little easier to figure out percentages with this, and filling in block by block, I can calculate a little bit easier how much I've actually gotten done. So, yeah, mostly I worked on this in the car to and from our camping trip. Yeah, I was so tired by the time we were done hiking. I got less than 100 stitches in per day while we were out and about. And like I said, I kind of I struggled enough that I wished I had left anything not completely necessary at home, or at least in the car. Okay, we're almost done with whips. Next was another new start. This is Dragons of Sabbat. This is a pain-free crafts chart gifted to me by Gypsy Stitcher. And this is a sal that we just started on the 29th of July. Artwork by Ann Stokes. There are a lot of people who are stitching this, and this is there's a hashtag for it, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. I'll put it here on the screen. There's a lot of people that are stitching this just like a dragon, like the Ann Stokes and Pain for Crafts have just individual dragons that you can do. There are people who are stitching this on black fabric. And then there are those of us who are on white fabric stitching all the black. And I am one of those people, along with Darren from Gypsy Stitcher. I have gotten a total, I actually have not put this in Pattern Keeper yet because I just want to mark off the entire page of black and call it done, rather than trying to mark off each square or whatnot. But I have done 2,600 stitches of black. that's the edge of the page, and this 70 stitch mark is a page. So I have a little less than 1,000 stitches to go on that page of black. Pardon my threads here. My thread. That's where I stopped for the day. So yeah, Dragons of Sabbat. I think there are at least 2 full pages of black to fill in before a dragon starts coming in on the edge over here, if I'm remembering correctly. This is a really, I have not gridded this entire thing out, but it is a big, it's a big piece. Like, huge. Huge. I have about a 3-inch margin over here. So there is quite a bit of black going on in this piece. It definitely makes for some nice brainless stitching when I am too exhausted to try to think. Next I worked on Canopy Heart because the last day of the month. Oh, by the way, it is August the 2nd, technically now? 3rd? 3rd. It's Wednesday now. But on the last day of the month, I pull out Canopy Heart by Dakota Detweiler. This is a stitch along that I am doing with Suki, the brown-eyed stitcher, and a few other people. This was charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Dakota is no longer with Heaven and Earth Designs. She is with Charting Creations. And I have picked up another piece from her, from Charting Creations, that I'm excited to get going as well. But I'm working up here in the corner. I did not get a whole lot done this past time. I only got 501 stitches in for a total of 1,143. I am not even a percent done yet. 0.38%. Oop, that's my needle minder. There we go. So, as you can see, I've started cross-countrying from the last time. I worked on my threads and just kind of going with the flow of the piece. So there's a couple of other people who have gotten quite a bit of progress in on this piece, and it looks amazing. I mean, it only has 10 or 11 colors, and it just gets a lot of detail for what it is. So, okay, last but not least, this is another supersized max color piece that I decided to pull out this evening. I've been in a lot of pain since I've come back, and I've been having a lot of trouble standing, which isn't good because I need to stand quite a bit for, even though I sit and sew for quite a lot of the businesses that I've run, I also have to stand a lot for it. So with the pain that I've been in, today was a stitching day. So Light Weaver came out. And this is the supersized max color version of this. This is started by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork by Raven Phelan. I have been forgetting to tell you what everything is stitched on as far as fabric goes. Most of my full coverage large pieces are on 28 count Aida. So if you have any questions about specific projects that maybe I didn't say, feel free to drop a comment question below. But today I got a lot of stitching done. And I felt like I got nowhere because it's a supersized max color chart. I got 1,273 stitches in today for a total so far of 8,804 stitches and a 1.25%. I have pretty much got all of my threads worked in except for where it needs to continue past where the Q-snap will let me stitch. I have gotten started here on a little bit more of his forewing This is still his wing. It just looks like background because of how the painting is oriented. So, I mean, I've gotten a decent chunk done, but it really feels like I have not moved forward much. But I have. I have. It's all good. Every stitch counts, right? Every stitch counts. Okay, so that is my those are my whips. Well, how many was that? That was a lot. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16 projects. That was a lot of work in the last month. Okay. Before I get into haul and stitch kindness, I do want to do a couple of shout outs. If you have stuck around with me this long, I really hope you give these ladies a visit. Their first videos were amazing. There are a couple of ladies that I have met through one of my stitching groups now, and Nicole, who is North Island Stitcher, made her first video. She has her first floss tube and a whip parade out, and really lots of full coverage pieces. So if you're into full coverage like I am, if you're here, I would hope that you like full coverage, because wow, I've got a lot and more coming. But Nicole has got quite a few whips as well, lots of full coverage pieces. So give her some love. So and then another woman in the same group that we're in was kind of enabled. You know, she said, Nicole, if you make a floss tube, I'll make one too. Well, Nicole did, and so Judy had to follow in her footsteps. Judy is an Aussie and a Kiwi world. I will link them both below for sure. Judy also has her first floss tube and a whip parade out, and yeah, Judy's dangerous for me to watch because she has a lot of not full coverage pieces that I'm really falling in love with. And Lord knows I don't need any more projects, because part of my plans, which I haven't gone into, obviously, but we'll get there. But she has like 50 whips for this year. That's not even including her actual, like, all of her whips. So, yeah. But yeah, go check them out. Excellent jobs on, job well done on their first videos. Okay. Next is haul. Again, I can't remember exactly what PDFs I've picked up since I last spoke with you guys. I may have already shown you the PDFs that I bought, but I can't remember. So that'll have to be for another day. What I did get is I received, sorry for the crinkles. These are both of my haul packages that came are from Bestitch Me. One was the replacement fabric that I ordered with the credit. I paid a little bit extra because I wanted a bigger piece of fabric. And of course now I can't remember what I was going to stick on it. But my piece that I had gotten for the new normal was a little bit crooked, and I let her know what was going on, and she was so kind and gave me a credit for the store. So I picked up a half yard of Lugana. It's an opalescent 28 count in Winter Blues. Oh my gosh, this is really big. Like, moving up from a fat quarter, basically, an eighth of a yard, to a half yard is a huge difference. And it's washing out a little bit. It's a little bit bluer than is showing there, than is showing up on the camera, but look at that modeling. It's gorgeous. Yeah, and I have no clue what I'm going to put on it. None whatsoever. I don't remember if I had a plan for it or if I just saw it and went, ooh, blue, it's pretty. So that will go in my stash. As of right now, all of my fancy ladies have been allocated to fabric. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I decide to do with that one. Excuse me. And then I also picked up I have ordered the entire set of cottage garden samplings. Is that their name? With the Fox series, the Year in the Woods series. So like everybody is stitching. I went ahead and ordered the Woodland bundle specifically for that series. And from my understanding, all 12 of those will fit on these projects. You know, there's spring, winter, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. I don't know what's what. I'll just decide as I go, I guess. I don't know. I'll figure it out. And then in order to even out that order, I went ahead and got a few silks. I got a silk grab bag, which the silks are not named. It's just some colors. And I believe these are 10 yard. 10 yard skeins. But they're pretty. Blue and kind of a beige taupe. And this mauve color. Yeah, there we go. That's a good rendition. Very, very lightly variegated. So not disappointed with that grab bag at all. Basically, it was kind of a buy two, get one free skein thing. And then I also picked up 10 yards of hibiscus. Here we go. That's a good. And 10 yards of hot cocoa. And I don't really have plans for those, but at the time I had some extra money, so picked them up. I did also have some Stitchy kindness come in. The same lovely woman who gifted me a lot of the horse charts previously, she has gone through more of her stash and sent me some more of her de-stash, basically. So Patty, thank you again. I am super, super excited. She sent me Stony Creek's Carousel Magic, and she had actually kitted up with most of the floss and beads and fabric for, I know this one for sure, and I believe this one as well. I'd have to look again. I looked when I got it, and then now I can't remember. And I love there's some better pictures. So pretty. And lovely cottage. Little pamphlet. Now I know I didn't realize this is a Leisure Arts collection. This is Stony Creek, but also Leisure Arts. And then this is Lenart, but it's also Stony Creek. So I am not sure who works with whom, or worked, because these are, you know, these are order charts. But I mean, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's very soft. There's a few more. I can't remember if that's, yeah, Spring Red is the chart in here. And then a couple more. Yeah. Rocking Horse. Another from that series. One from the series. I guess there were 6 total of that series. I'm excited to have whatever she's got for me. And then again, just a bunch of beautiful horse and carousel charts. I really want to stitch this one and this one and that one and that one. I want to stitch them all. So, and then she gave me this beautiful coffee book. Just a bunch of photographs of horses. So again, thank you so much, Patty. It means so much to me, and I've got some of the previous gifts that she has given me. I wouldn't say kitted out, but I've got fabric ready to go for them. Plus the kits that she had given me before too. So, all right. So there's that. Running out of space. Check my notes. Okay. Plans. I don't even know at this point what I'm doing as far as plans go. I am working on trying to get, I had started cutting and prepping more bags. And then again, this trip happened and I have not been able to, I haven't been able to stand long enough to cut and prep more. It's definitely coming. I have teaser pics that I sent out on Instagram before I left for my trip, and I will keep updating that as I work more on that. And again, the website, ailarradesigns.com, the people who are subscribed on my website will get the first notification for when bags are going up on the site. So if you're interested and want to know when bags are going up, that's going to be the best place to learn about that, is submit your email on the website and I will shoot you an email when stuff goes out. I'll be right back. Speaking of bags, I wanted to say thank you. I don't know if I did adequately enough in my last video. The response to my grand opening was, last video was the announcement. This is why I need to record like every week or every other week. The response to the grand opening of my store was pretty phenomenal. I'm pretty much sold out. There's a couple of bags left, not a whole lot of variety at the moment. I'm definitely working on getting that rectified. So there's much more variety coming up, more variety both of sizes and designs. So yeah, bear with me. Like I said, if you want to be notified, definitely subscribe on the website. I will also announce on Instagram when that goes up as well. The cross stitch plans that I have are random and amorphous and not really plans. Basically, I just pick a project that I feel like working on and go with it for a couple of days. The exceptions being my stitch alongs. I now have programmed in my calendar that, you know, the 5th of every month is Crystal Garden. The 29th of every month is going to be the Dragons of the Sabbat. The last month of every month, or the last day of every month, is going to be Canopy Heart. I think that's all my sales. As far as like with other people. Oh, and the Once Upon a Fairy Tale. I did not work on Once Upon a Fairy Tale at the beginning of this month because that fell on Mermaid Monday, and the mermaid is what I felt like working on. I wasn't moving around really great. She was already in a Q-snap, ready to go. I didn't feel like digging out Once Upon a Fairy Tale because that required standing. So, yeah. Loose plans. It's a surprise every time you come in. I think that does it for stitching. An hour, that's actually not, that's pretty much on par with me. I'm excited because I think I actually fit it all in a relatively decent amount of time. If you want to stick around for life updates, feel free. If not, totally understand. I will definitely catch you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing. I don't usually say this, but if you did enjoy what you saw, definitely, if you wouldn't mind considering hitting that like button, go ahead and subscribe if you want to, you know, maybe come back and hang out again. It's very much appreciated. Love. Oh, and I did want to talk a little bit about, this is going to kind of go into life updates. I read every single comment pretty much as soon as it comes in. Mentally lately, I have not been able to respond as I normally do. It's taken me a while to decide, number one, if I have anything that I feel is relevant to actually respond as a comment to, or if I just heart the comment and move on. I'm struggling a little bit with not replying, and I have gone into this a little bit, and I know most of you are very understanding that, you know, a response is not necessarily expected. I know me personally, it's always appreciated when I'm commenting on other people's videos, but even those for me have gone to like 3 emoticons and that's it. I just haven't had the brain power or the emotional investment, which sounds ridiculous because it's just a comment on a video. But at the same point in time, if I respond to you, it's because I have put some thought and some effort into that comment. And not responding actually also takes its toll on me. I do feel a little bit of, not necessarily guilt, but that, you know, but know that I have seen your comment and I appreciate it. All of that to say, feel free to leave a comment to let me know, you know, that you watched, that you appreciated, that you liked. And even if I only heart it, please know that I take every comment to heart. And that I appreciate everyone. And I appreciate every one of you. Where was I going with that? I have no idea. No clue. Life. So before the camping trip, we had some ups and downs recently. My mom actually lost a job and gained a job, and that was kind of hard for her. She called me just, you know, kind of stressed, and I'm very empathetic. I'm very empathic, so anybody's stress I sort of take on as myself as well. And that's not to say that I don't want to, it's just that's who I am. So I will share in those life experiences with you as much as possible. But yeah, my mom had called me and said that the company that she works for was downsizing, restructuring, that kind of thing. So she was actually let go, but she was also offered another position. She didn't lose any pay, which was awesome, but it's not in the capacity that she was in. She actually, you know, went to college as an adult, got her degree, and worked really, really hard for this. And the position that they offered is basically unskilled. You know, a customer service representative, basically. I mean, it still takes skill to do that kind of a job, but it's not what she went to school for. So I feel disappointment for her. But I think she's going to excel. She's worked in that kind of capacity before. It's just kind of sucks that she's not able to utilize what she went to school for. Let's see. My husband was very lucky. He was in an accident, but not in like a normal motor vehicle accident when you think of a car. We have an ATV side-by-side, so it's like a souped-up golf cart kind of thing. They call it a utility terrain vehicle. So it's an ATV, but it has 4 seats and a little like storage area to haul stuff. It's hard to explain if you're not familiar with those types of vehicles. But we had some trash thrown onto our property, and our property is very big. It's well over 100 acres, and a lot of the road-facing property is still farmland. So my father-in-law had noticed that there had been some trash thrown and asked that my husband go, you know, clean it up, which that's part of why we're here, is to help him out. So my husband had taken the side-by-side to go do that, and part of that road has like a really steep ditch. So it's got the road surface, ditch, and then goes up into the field. Well, the trash he was trying to get to, he had to go up onto the road out of the ditch and then back down into the field. And he looked behind him. There was no traffic, but to get up and around the ditch and the telephone pole takes a little bit. So by the time he was up on the road, he was sort of straddling that ditch area and the road. And there were vehicles coming behind him at that point, and he was, you know, on the same, you know, going the same direction as traffic. So the first car past him was completely on the other side of the road, which was fantastic. That's what they should be doing. Second car passes him, and they're straddling the yellow line. Third car passes him, and he could have reached out and slapped the hood of that car as it went by. Basically, no leeway whatsoever. And because of the wind shear and the pressure from that vehicle passing him, it ran him off the road, and he ended up hitting that telephone pole. Gave him a decent case of whiplash, and it totaled our ATV. Completely totaled it. The insurance adjuster just got back with my father-in-law yesterday, and yeah, it's trash. And unfortunately, the insured amount doesn't cover the cost of replacing it. So we are a farm without a vehicle to be able to manage it at the moment. So that's been a whole thing. We're really grateful that my husband's okay, but unfortunately, you know, the people who should have paid for that damage got away with basically, you know, a drive-by. You know, because we couldn't get, there was no other witnesses or anything like that. We couldn't get license informations or anything like that. So we're just at this point grateful that the insurance rates don't raise because of it. So there was that. I wanted to show and share something that as sort of a rural area, if you are not into snakes, I will timestamp it so that you can skip over this part, but I want to share something that I had run into and was kind of excited about. But yeah, if you're afraid of snakes, don't like pictures of snakes, go ahead and skip to this timestamp here. For those of you who don't mind it, I had gone onto my driveway and I was about to drive over what I thought was a stick. Totally not a stick. 5 or 6 foot rat snake. These are very, very useful, especially on farmland, for keeping the rodent population at bay. They're very helpful. They are not aggressive at all. They're non-venomous. We also have water snakes around here. They are also not venomous. However, they are very aggressive, and the bacteria that lives in their mouths can cause some severe infections. Rat snakes are not like that. But here is a picture of when I stopped in the driveway of him just chilling in the driveway. I called my husband. I'm like, I can't go because the snake is in the way. And he came and he picked up the snake. And so here's the snake in his hand. So you can see how relatively big it is. And my husband, he's had experience with these types of snakes pretty much his whole life. He's always been kind of around those. So he takes it into the house, and I get some close-up pictures, as you can see, of this beautiful, beautiful snake. And honestly, the only time this snake was not like just relaxed was when it went from the 90-degree weather outside to the 70-degree weather inside. The temperature change kind of freaked him out, and he was a little but my husband took this snake upstairs to my stepson's bedroom and was like, knock, knock, knock. Somebody wants to meet you. And he's in his face when he answered the door. And yeah, the stepson was not super appreciative of it. But that's my husband for you. So it was released back into the wild safely. We actually set it across the creek into a territory of one of the other rat snakes that we know to live on the property. The one that we found actually probably lived in the deer stand that my father-in-law used to hunt from on the property, and that deer stand is no longer there. We had to actually take that down last year. But we didn't want him getting run over inadvertently. So there was that. Normal life. My stepsons have actually been a little more challenging than usual prior to when we left for our camping trip. I won't get into details, but the challenges as a stepmom, as a parent of teenagers, it's been a little more challenging than normal lately. But anyways, so left to go on the trip, and we went to it's called Dolly Sods. It's in the Allegheny area of the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia, which is about a 6.5-hour drive. We had to drive about an hour to drop my son off at his grandmother's. My son gets super, super, super car sick. We have been having a lot of trouble finding the medicine that keeps him from ralphing in the car. And so we had to make a couple of pit stops just on the way to drop my son off to his grandparents' house. Luckily, he had no issues while we were out camping and while he was with his grandparents. Thank goodness. But yeah, that was fun. So I'm very overweight. I'm very out of shape. I know this. I talked about this a little bit in my last video about some goals that I want to set for meeting goals and rewarding myself with a chatelaine. None of those goals have been met. You would think that 4 days out on the trail, I would have, lost a little bit of weight. No, not with the way my husband cooks on the trail. So I'm not sure if I'm going to insert pictures as I talk or if I'm going to do a slideshow afterwards. So I'll stay to this side and you'll see as it goes. So we get there and it starts raining, which we knew. We knew it was going to rain. It was a soggy, sloppy, rainy week, all week long. We have the proper equipment for it to a point. Basically, any rain gear that you have is going to be a trade-off. You either are fully waterproofed and protected to the nines, but it holds in all your heat and you're sweating, so you're wetting out anyways because you're sweating so much. Or it's not quite totally waterproof and it's going to wet out at some point anyways, and you're going to be wet. So, but yeah, we get there, it was my husband, the friend that I'm doing the memorial piece for, and myself was who hiked. We had a 7.5 mile hike in, and y'all, this hike in, okay. My max hiking has been in the past 3 miles to get to a campsite where I sit on my butt for a week and then I hike 3 miles out. The way my husband hikes is it's a mileage every day. Now they designed this trip around me. That being said, I don't think they appreciate exactly how not in shape I am. So hiking has, if you're not familiar, there are classes of hiking just like there are classes of rapids, basically. Your zero class is flat, paved ground, super easy. That's a 0. And it goes up to 5. 5 being you're hanging off the side of a cliff, like roped in, you know, you're that kind of climbing. It's not even hiking anymore at that point. It's actually climbing. There were sections of this trail on the hike in that were 4. I was not ready for 4. I was barely ready for a 1 or a 2. But and the 4 part that we did was done in the dark. I think the rain had stopped at that point. But yeah, the sun had gone down. I was already hurting to the point where I was super duper slow. I did have to drop my pack about half a mile away from the camp. I couldn't handle the weight plus me. But yeah, I mean, it was giant boulders. I don't know. I'll have to dig through some of my husband's pictures, because I know he hiked it before we did. So hopefully if I have a picture, I'll put it here of the descent that we did into that camp. Hi, buddy. My dog's down here too with me. And he's going, Mom, what are you yapping at? Hi, Bubba. So yeah, 7.5 miles the first day in. So we make camp. My husband cooks in the dark, in the wet. He is a caveman when it comes to making. I mean, he hiked in dry kindling so that he could actually make fire. He cooked these giant steaks on. I don't know if we even got pictures of the steaks from the first night. But he insisted on packing these like 2-pound tomahawks that we had the second day. So yeah, there was not much. I mean, it was very caveman diet, but it was a lot of food. Excuse me. It is late. I will probably wrap this up here in a couple of minutes. The second day was 5 or 5.5 miles to the next camp. And again, it was in the rain. It was on the side of a mountain. I can't even describe what it was like hiking this rocky trail. A trail, I use the term trail loosely because these boulders, it's not like, it's nothing like hiking on a flat trail or even just a semi manicured trail. Your knees, because your feet are constantly doing this bit around the rocks and they're never even, and it took a whole lot of brain power to hike this kind of terrain. I was not expecting to use my brain that much just to walk. Again, the second day, about half a mile before we hit camp, I had to drop the pack. I was traveling about a half a mile an hour at that point. It was rough. We got into camp. I would collapse in my hammock once we got it set up. My husband would cook, and I would eat, and I would go collapse again. The third day was a 0 day. Basically, we did no hiking that day other than what was in camp. And then the third day, or the fourth day, was a 4-mile hike out. And I was definitely hobbling by the end of that hike. It was good. Our friend calls it type 2 fun. The fun that you don't get to really have until later when you're recovered and you're just talking about it. You know, it makes for good memories. It makes for good stories, but it kind of sucks while you're having it. But yeah, I was not really prepared for the type of work that kind of hiking entailed. So yeah, it's been, I've been in a lot of pain. I don't know if that's been translating probably. I mean, yes, I'm a little tired too because of how late it is, but, I've actually been in quite a lot of pain. I pulled my calf from this hike. So just walking that part has been tough. Now that my muscles are a little bit more recovered, the joints, I'm noticing the joint pain a lot more. And I think that has been harder than just the sore muscles is the joint pain. That has a lot to do with my personal extra weight, plus not being used to carrying the pack weight. But the terrain was like being able to be on the side of a mountain. I mean, it was like up on one side and down on the other. There was some very sketchy spots on this hike that I was a little nervous for because you slip and you're down the side of a mountain. But to be able to be in that environment was very humbling and it's a very good experience, very tiring experience. Definitely not one I will be going back to very soon. I definitely want to lose the weight that I need to. I don't know how many of you are still hanging out with me an hour and a half in. I assume that those of you who are here probably were with me on the chat that I had last video about the weight loss goals that I have. As I said, I'm not doing very well on those. And it's not that I don't know how to do it. I know I've lost weight before. It's definitely a willpower thing. I definitely have an addiction to sugar. This tooth right here has the filling to prove it. I was actually playing around with the idea because I have had a few commenters on my previous video as well express some interest in joining me on this kind of journey and having those goals as well. Playing around with the idea of making a Facebook group for it. What do you think? Do you want to come be in a Facebook group with me? I have a couple of gals that will help me moderate it as well, to make it a safe environment so that, if I'm not able to, come into if there's an issue or whatever, there will be more than just me able to handle it. I would definitely like to create a chat group off of that Facebook group as well, for people who don't mind the dings, you know, who silence their phones at night, that kind of thing, but who would be able to kind of a real time say, hey, I'm struggling, you know, this cupcake that my kid brought home from school is calling my name and I really don't want to eat it, but I'm having a hard time resisting it. That kind of support in that kind of, you know, a chat group kind of thing. I'm bouncing ideas at this point. I don't know. Let me know what you think. If there's some interest in it, I'll make that a go. I'll create a Facebook group for it. Because everybody, I think, in a situation where you want to lose weight and maybe don't have the support at home, I know that's definitely a thing for me right now. My husband does not know the definition of don't bring me home junk food. But anyways, I'm just kind of rambling now at this point. So let me know in the comments if that's something that you would be interested in, and I will make it happen, and we'll see how it goes. That's pretty much it, I think, at this point. My brain's starting to shut down because it is a redonkulous hour of the morning. 4:30 in the morning. It is definitely time for me to go get some shut-eye. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you are still with me, I know there's a few of you that do, and I appreciate you. So I will see you in my next update video. Hopefully it will not be a month gone. I would like to, we're going to call it 2 weeks. I think with the type of stitching that I'm doing right now, with, you know, I pick a project, stitch on it for 2 or 3 days. I think every couple of weeks is going to be better than once a week. I think once a week might be a little too boring at this point for me. So, all right, guys. Give me your thoughts in the comments, questions, comments, concerns, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. Thanks again for hanging out. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.